What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with Dark Hay Outpost and GeeksandGamers.com. And when I saw this article, Miami made the Jimmy Butler gamble that Chicago never could. It really made me think about a lot of things. And it's written by Nick Friedel, who used to be the Bulls beat reporter. Used to listen to him all the time on ESPN 1000 radio. He'd do call-ins. Good guy. Now he's more of just a ESPN NBA guy. It's a really long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing or anything like that, but I would recommend you read it. I will link it in the description. But as someone who is an enormous Chicago Bulls fan, grew up a Chicago Bulls fan, Northwest Indiana, 45 minutes from Chicago, watch Michael Jordan win his last 3 rings there. That's kind of my first memories of basketball as a child, to be honest. It's been so frustrating these past several years to see the Bulls organization just continue to do the wrong thing over and over and over again. Between Gar Forman and John Paxton, the guys in the front office that are kind of leading this thing and leading it straight off of a cliff. They have no idea what they're doing. But to see Jimmy Butler have success in Miami is something that is so bittersweet. I love the fact that he is succeeding there, that he finally found a spot that it feels like it's home. I got right here, I got my Jimmy Butler signed jersey. I will always and forever be a Jimmy Butler fan. You might ruffle people the wrong way at times, but that's one of the things this article talks about is, Jimmy's problems that he's had, problems with teammates that he's had, and how basically it's always just been because what a hard worker he is. And when we go ahead and look at the standings right now, and we see, Milwaukee's up there, Toronto's up there, Boston, Miami is 4th right now. Who is Miami ahead of? Oh, you can't even see it. Who is Miami ahead of? The Philadelphia 76ers, the team that Jimmy Butler was on last year, and they decided that they didn't want to go after him. They wanted to sign Tobias Harris. And I don't think that's really paying off for them that much. Could have used Jimmy there this year, I would imagine, but I think he's feeling right at home with the Miami Heat. And one of the things this article talks about is how Chicago wasn't willing to give a guy who is that demanding and that straightforward with teammates. They didn't want him to be the face of the franchise going forward. And as the years have gone by, I definitely think you're going to see that not paying off very well. Now, listen, I love Zach LaVine. He works his ass off. He can't play defense very well, but I love watching the dude play. But Jimmy Butler is just, he's a leader. He's a bulldog. He's an alpha. He's a guy who can go get you buckets and lock down people on the other end. And Chicago traded him away for Lauri Markkanen and Zach LaVine and Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn, who's basically irrelevant. Chris Dunn experiment should be over, as far as I'm concerned. Jimmy Butler deserves so much respect because of what he did to get into this league. Look at Jimmy Butler's stats. The 30th overall pick, last pick in the first round by Chicago. The first season, he played about 8 minutes a game, 2.6 points a game. Had to earn his way onto the floor. That next year, less than 9 points a game. Started playing a little more. Still had a very limited offensive game. But he worked his butt off because he knew what he needed to do. He earned Tom Thibodeau's trust, which is not easy to do for anyone that knows Tom Thibodeau. And he became an all-around star in this league. Now, he's not a guy who goes out and gets 30 a night. He probably could if he really wanted to, maybe not super efficiently. But he affects the game in so many ways. And for me, Aaron from Sports Wars has been talking about this a lot. Obviously, Drunk 3PO, big Miami Heat fan. He's thrilled that Jimmy's down there doing great things. But the fact that so many people in the NBA can't handle Jimmy Butler because they're worried that he pushes them too far. You look at Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns acting like little beta bitches when Jimmy Butler decides to push them in practice to call them out for not working hard enough because they didn't want it bad enough. Now you see Andrew Wiggins shipped off. That team's basically, has basically tanked. They brought in D'Angelo Russell now to partner with Karl Anthony Towns. And Karl Anthony Towns had a fire lit under him. Even as much as he was complaining about what Jimmy was doing, that dude had a fire lit under him after that. He goes to Philadelphia. And Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid and Tobias, they can't all get along because Jimmy's demanding something from them that they're not willing to give up. Then he finds a place in Miami with Pat Riley, an old school guy, Eric Spoelstra, a guy who has learned directly from Pat Riley. And they realize that Jimmy is a guy they want to build around. He has that identity, that toughness that they want to build around. Dwayne Wade, when he left, he told Pat Riley, told Spoelstra exactly who Jimmy was from that time they spent in Chicago. And this is what Jimmy will do for you. And they brought him in, and they're having great success. So I know this is a really random video to make, but I just wanted to give Jimmy Butler a little appreciation for what he is and what he does, and that he's finally found a place that respects him for who he is and what he brings to the game. And it's going to be interesting to see him this weekend back in Chicago, who could have had him. They did have him. They had him locked up, and they decided to trade him away because they didn't want him leading their team. Absolute garbage. Fire Gar Forman and John Paxton. Fire them now, Chicago. It's awful. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Hail Jimmy G Buckets. The G stands for Gits. I'll always be a Jimmy fan. But that's about all I got for you guys. Let me know what you think about Jimmy Butler. Let me know what you think about Chicago Bulls, about the Miami Heat, about the Timberwolves, about the 76ers, and all these teams that couldn't handle having Jimmy. Now he's finding his home on the Heat. Make sure you smash the like button, leave a comment, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to Sports Wars, and I'll talk to you guys later.